She hasn't been out for a walk in a couple days, so she's definitely enjoying the chance to get out and explore a little bit.
Hey BookTube, welcome back. Well, I've tried starting this video about 10 times now, and each time I goof up something, so we're just gonna let it go and see what happens. Anyway, I'm back to talk about a few of the things that I finished reading recently. One of those was an audiobook, The Martian, written by Andy Weir, read by Will Wheaton. I highly recommend it. I've always enjoyed the book, and I really enjoyed his narration of it. So if you're looking for a good audiobook, listen to anything read by Will Wheaton. In terms of physical books, I finished The Bookshop of Yesterdays by Amy Meyerson. This is her debut novel. This is a book I just happened to stumble across while shelving at work. Saw a bookshop. I was instantly intrigued. This will be something that will be appeal to anybody who is a lover of books or bookstores. There's lots of literary references throughout it. There are strong themes of family, of secrets meant to protect. Sometimes secrets end up causing more harm than good. And also strong themes of loss. Our main character, Miranda, is about 26 years old or so as the story opens up. And she's recently found out that her Uncle Billy has passed away. This is an uncle she was always very close to when she was growing up. He was a seismologist, so he was quite often traveling around the world wherever an earthquake happened to be. And she always thought that was really intriguing and exciting. And she was rather proud of her uncle. But he also owned a bookstore called Prospero Books, named from a character in The Tempest, as she was named from the character in The Tempest. And he would often, when he was in town, bring her to the bookstore, let her pick out whatever book she wanted. She kind of felt like the bookstore was her own. And he would leave little, like, riddles for her to solve through books. He might leave a quote from a book or something that they'd read together, and she'd have to find that book. And then in that book there'd be another clue, and it'd be a series of clues leading to some kind of outcome for her. And it was just a game they played when she was growing up. Well, now that she's 26, she's recently come to find out that her uncle has passed away, and he's left her an even bigger riddle to solve. And one that will take her back into not only her past, but her uncle's as well. Somewhere along the lines, when she was 12 years old, she witnessed an argument between her Uncle Billy and his sister, her mother. And at that point, she lost touch with her uncle. She didn't know what the argument was about. No one would ever tell her, but it was something apparently fairly big. And she's kind of hoping that in a way, maybe she'll learn a little bit more about her uncle and what this breakup was. There are strong themes of loss within this book, and how that loss can affect people in different ways, and how sometimes your grief can block you from understanding how other people can be grieving for that very same person, but in a different way. I mean, she may have lost an uncle, but someone else has lost a brother, someone else may have lost a father, someone else may have lost, a cousin. Sometimes your grief can kind of block you from understanding other people's because you're so caught up in yourself. I found it very moving. It's a very kind of slow-paced book. The secret at the end kind of reveals itself a little earlier than the end. You kind of see it coming, but still made the book very enjoyable. And like I said, I also enjoyed the literary references throughout it. So it was a happy find. Like I said, accidental find, serendipitous. And I hope to find more books like that along the way. I'm going to open myself up a little bit more to just trying new books that I kind of come across and see what I think. But yeah, definitely enjoyed that one. I also just read this one because I happened to come across this in a purchase at work. And it's the Flintstones. I have always been a huge Flintstones fan. I see my parents in the Flintstones. My father was a construction worker who looked kind of like that, and my mother's a redhead. I just always enjoyed the Flintstones. Let me check this out. 12 cents. This was from 1962. I wasn't even around. But yeah, I just enjoyed a little trip down memory lane. I enjoyed watching the cartoons. One of my favorite cartoons. So yeah, I just read that one for fun. In terms of what I'm currently reading, just picked up The Watchers by Neil Spring. I had previously read The Ghost Hunters. I don't know if you'll be able to see that right there. And there was a follow-up to it, which I'm currently not remembering the title of. But The Watchers, this is sort of, I think, alien kind of invasion type theme to it. And I think it's set in the... What did it say? It's loosely based or inspired by UFO sightings that took place in Wales throughout the 1970s. So presumably someone's watching is what it's about. But what Neil Spring does really well, I think, is take factual things, historical facts or people, and put them into fictional situations. So with the Ghost Hunters, we had Harry Price, who was a ghost hunter who gained some notoriety in his time for investigating one of the most haunted places in England, which was Borley Rectory, which I talked about that on my channel a while back when I was reviewing the book. And he took a real character and created a fictional story around it, and I thought it did really well. I really enjoyed it a lot. So I'm looking for something equally as entertaining within this one, but again, maybe a little bit more of a. It says it's a spooky psychological drama, but perhaps with some sort of alien encounters as well. And then in terms of audiobooks, I just decided on this one. I previously had planned on listening to The Collapsing Empire, book one of a trilogy, kind of a space opera by John Scalzi. And I had started it yesterday, and I just couldn't get into it. I think I just didn't want anything that big, or that big of a scope right now. Maybe I'll save that for September. Because I think SFF 180 does like a space opera type read-along. We'll see. But anyway, in the meantime, I just stumbled across this one, Dark Matter, a ghost story by Michelle Paver, and I don't know if you'll be able to see that at all. Just about. Anyway, it's apparently set in like the 1930s in a Norwegian bay, high in the Arctic Circle, and it's some sort of ghost story around that. That's about all I know. I just kind of briefly scrolled through the reviews on Audible, and everyone was giving it like 5 stars for the narration, for the story, exceedingly creepy, and it's kind of just what I feel like in the mood for right now. So I'm going to go with that. If any of you have heard of it, or have read it, or whatever, let me know. And yeah, that's all I have for you today, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.